Blessings, blessings, and grand risings, everyone. Let's let the notifications go out. I had to restart my live. The notifications seem to not go out, guys. Today, we're going to be talking about a topic that we talked about a couple of broadcasts ago. We're going to update you on what's going on with the ICE agents, unaliving people, as well as clarifying the storyline about some things that we have posted, because I've been going back and forth with some people in my comments and they have been thinking that we got the storyline incorrect. So let's start by watching this, because we have something seriously wrong going on. And right now we have federal judge weighing ICE use of force in Chicago. So we want to know why. So this is what we're going to be addressing today, and we're going to be clarifying some things. Let's watch this together. Let's go. As you come in, please hit the like button.
In Chicago, outrage after a woman was detained by immigration agents at a daycare where she works.
My community is under attack. We are enraged. Diana was targeted, stolen on her way to care for our children.
Witnesses claim Diana Galeano, who is undocumented, was chased inside the daycare, then dragged out. But Homeland Security officials tell a different story. They say agents tried to take Galeano into custody earlier, but they say when officers tried to pull over the car she was in, the man who was driving sped off. They say the two then ran to the daycare and attempted to barricade themselves inside, recklessly endangering the children inside. Galeano, later seen inside this Homeland Security vehicle. ICE says she was not arrested in the school but in the lobby and not in front of children, insisting they did not target a daycare. DHS says Galeano, who is from Colombia, has been in the country illegally for years. They claim she facilitated human smuggling when she paid smugglers to bring her children into the U.S. But her supporters claim where and how she was detained is unacceptable.
Imagine taking your child to a daycare where they are now at risk of their teachers leaving them in the class because they have been detained for being brown, for speaking Spanish.
Galeano supporters say she has a pending asylum case and a valid work permit. But DHS says work authorization does not mean she's in the country legally.
Wait. Okay, wait. Did y'all hear what they're basically saying? They going after her for smuggling kids inside of the inside of America, and they kind of brushed over that. But I don't know if that's the truth, because we have heard some crazy things that ICE have done, and then they came up with these remarkable stories. So this story just happened most recently again. Let me give you this happened around let's see, this was just published on the 5th. So this had to happen within a week ago. And again, we have ICE officers doing things that's kind of reckless and out of pocket and putting a lot of people in danger. So they're saying that allegedly this young lady and the man was being accosted by them, and then they kept going and they went into the daycare. We're going to follow up on this particular situation. Now, we're going to do a flashback because we have some things to clarify here. The things that we have to clarify. Okay, we had some people in our audience saying, oh, you don't know what you're talking about because of two things. We had a post that we put up, and the post was from one of the groups that I'm part of on the South Side, I believe, but it was brought to my attention that allegedly it was saying that the ICE officer who shot the lady 5 times basically had a warrant for his arrest. Let me read this, guys, to you. It says, breaking: the ICE agent who shot the Chicago woman 5 times and then fled to Maine in the ICE vehicle, we're going to clarify this stuff, now has a warrant out for his arrest for the incident. He is facing up to 20 years in prison. Good, but he should get locked away for life. Now, some things that I cannot verify is if this agent who was responsible for this has a warrant. Again, what we're going to clarify is the lady who was shot 5 times was actually shot by the Border Patrol. So we have 2 incidents that we want to clarify. One, the incident with the ICE officer who unalived his name is Severo Gonzalez. Okay, Severo Gonzalez, a 38-year-old young man, and we basically debunked that in real time in the last live, where we had clips that showed that one, he never dragged the officer. Two, the officer said that he was okay. They saw the body cam that a great YouTuber got. So we have that in the other video. I'm not going to show y'all that today, but we're just going to show you, re-flashback that. And it basically showed the officer was never dragged. Mr. Gonzalez was unalive for nothing. They had no probable cause to pull Mr. Gonzalez over. They literally just saw a brown melanated person in that looked Spanish, and they tried to occult him, and it got out of hand. So he is the one that was unalived by the ICE agent. The second person is a female, and her name is Miss Martinez, and that was the one like, what is going on? Y'all remember I was talking about that? Where I was like, wow, this is wild. She got shot 5 times, and then she was able to go to like a mechanic shop and get help. And again, in that particular incident, I believe that it may not be the truth, because the storyline cannot be similar all the time, that they said that she tried to run over. At that time, we thought it was ICE officers, but they're Border Patrol officers. So this took place in October. So we're getting information by the mainstream, and you guys think that it's in real time, that it's factual information totally, and I don't think so, because they reported this as ICE, but it was actually the Border Patrol, and now we're getting more clarification on why that individual took a vehicle from the Border Patrol and tried to leave the Chicago area and go to Maine while he was under investigation. So that's the clarification of these two incidents. But what we want to highlight as well, is this lawful? Is this lawful for any of them to be behaving in this capacity? And I will say no. This live is going to be a little long-winded. Please hit the like button. You know what we do here in the morning. If you don't know who I am, my name is Miss Grace. My name is Miss Grace. Okay. So what I do in the morning, we just chop it up in the kitchen, and we have a little bit of deep dive conversation about what's going on in the public sector. But we do it from a non-bias. You know, we're not Democrat, Republican. You can be who you are, but I am not. I'm a separatist, and I talk about it from a humane perspective, a legal perspective, and a loving perspective, okay? And as you guys know, I'm a Hebrew woman. Now, let's just get to this, because we're going to talk about lawfully what ICE can do and officers can do. Because it's very disgusting to me for me to see people come into my comments constantly, because it seems like they're sending the Trump lovers here, who are basically saying, yeah, ICE shoot them down, shoot them down. If they don't comply, shoot them down. Recreating the president, and it's unlawful. So ICE agents are legally allowed to use deadly force, allegedly, such as shooting, only when they have a reasonable belief that the subject poses an intimate threat or of death or serious bodily injury to themselves and another person. Again, just like other officers, but there is evaluation, circumstances that they have to have the skills to evaluate before they just go shooting. You just can't go poking people with needles. So this is a narrow, defined legal standard based on the Supreme Court ruling on the Fourth Amendment. Okay, so use of standard, objectively reasonable force. Like, it just has to be reasonable, and the things that we seen is not reasonable. Just watch this real quick, just before I just keep talking. Look, do this look reasonable? Before we even press play, let me know that this look reasonable. The Immigration and Naturalization Act, passed by Congress in 1990, gives ICE the authority to detail questions and deport. Yes, they do. They can. But could they do this, or should they be doing this? Let's just watch a little bit of this. Hopefully we don't get a copyright from PBS. Why do you want to go and do that? Give them 1 second to get through their little commercial. But we're going to watch. Should they be doing this?
Trump administration's aggressive immigration enforcement in the city is sparking a number of legal battles. Border Patrol Chief Greg Vino is heading to court tomorrow amid accusations of using tear gas without justification during a raid in Little Village last week. Local law enforcement is also caught in the mix as they respond to clashes between protesters and federal agents, sometimes themselves getting hurt in the process. And as the Supreme Court is set to weigh in on a potential National Guard deployment here, some worry about blurring the line between federal law enforcement and local police authority. Joining us now to discuss it all are David Franklin, Associate Professor of Law at DePaul University. Franklin currently teaches.
We're going to watch a little bit of what Mr. Franklin has to say, but before we talk about Mr. Franklin, we're going to get into these other cases. Just to clarify, because what we do is like to bring truth to facts, okay? One shooting was by ICE and one is by the Border Patrol. So they objectively have like a little leeway to determine if they have a reasonable, how can I say, fear for someone to be hurt, like someone's life is in danger. So objectively reasonable force. The Department of Homeland Security policy permits agents to use force that is objectively reasonable in light of the fact of the circumstances. In light of the fact of the circumstances. That sounds a little weird. The level of force must be proportional to the threat and the level of resistance. And we're going to watch some of these things because it's not proportional to the threat or the level of resistance. When people are running away, you don't shoot. You don't run down the street with a gun trying to say, I'm going to shoot you. And then, you're just hitting cars as they're driving, just driving by. Not like you turn sirens on and say, pull over. They're literally just popping up on people. You don't see them putting sirens on and things like that. So how do people know to pull over? How do people know who they are? On top of them, they're jumping out like the jump out boys or people robbing people with masks. So their duty is to inflict minimum force as necessary. Agents are directed to use minimum amount of force necessary to achieve their objective and are trained in de-escalating techniques. Now, is any of that going on? Y'all let me know, is any de-escalating techniques going on? Deadly force restriction. Deadly force cannot be used simply to prevent a fleeing person from escaping. It is only permissible to stop a subject who poses a significant threat of serious harm to the officers or others. Scrutiny of the ICE use of force is controversial tactics. They're not being able to distinguish their identity, as we talked about, misleading behavior. There are also reports of agents using deceptive practice as reuse to gain entry to private property without a judicial warrant by misrepresenting who they are. Ongoing legal challenges. Federal court continue to hear cases and weigh restriction on the use of the forces that the immigration is using. Now let's get into this. This is what we're going to judge order improvement at the Broadview ICE facility. So not only are they harming people and detaining them wrongfully, but something is going on at the ICE facility. As we know, people with their alligator Alcatraz. Why would you want alligators around a jail? Like, you about to start feeding them to the people? Feeding people to the alligators? Weird and demonic. Okay, so now the judge has ordered for them to fix the conditions in the Broadview facility. This is in Chicago. So shout out to Chicago because they're going through it. And they're really using Chicago as an example. So the federal judge on Wednesday ordered authorities to improve a Chicago area immigration facility after a group of detainees sued. Lawsuit alleging they were being kept in inhumane condition. The order will be in effect for 14 days. It requires officials to provide detainees at the U.S. Immigration and Custom Enforcement facilities in the West Chicago suburbs of Broadview with a clean bed, mat, and sufficient space for sleep, soap, towel, paper, towels, toothbrush, toothpaste, the basics, menstrual products. So that says a lot to me. That says they have to tell them to give them their prescribed medication, because there was someone who basically almost went into a diabetic coma I don't know what state he was from, but he was 8 days in the ICE facility, and he was not a migrant. And he was 8 days without his diabetic medication, and he almost went into DKA, and he was hospitalized in the ICU. This is what's going on, guys. This is what's going on, and we really have to expose this. There got to be some pushback, because these are the things that eventually is going to be reported to the United Nations. They already know what's going on, okay? And that's when they're going to basically declare Trump as doing genocide on everybody. People shouldn't be sleeping next to overflowing toilets, U.S. District Judge Robert Gentleman said. They should not be sleeping on top of each other. The order says that the holding rooms at the facility must be cleaned twice a day. Detainees must be allowed to shower at least every other day, and should have 3 full meals and a bottle of water upon request. This is what we have to tell them to do. Gentlemen require authorities to allow detainees to call lawyers in private with no cost, and provide them with a list of pro bono attorneys in English and Spanish. This is what they're supposed to do in every situation. And that's why I said, guys, I'm not being funny. Have your paperwork together. Have your things together that will be able to show your citizenship, because you never know what these ICE agents on and now the Border Patrol on. Because if I don't tell y'all where I'm from, y'all don't know. I could be looking like Dominican. Who knows? They run up on me, are you a U.S. citizen? And just take you. Just take you. So you need to have your paperwork together, because some facilities, they're not allowing you to call lawyers. You need to have that number on hand and be able to flow that paperwork to them so they could get on it ASAP, fast. Okay? Because they've been talking about immediately deportation. And what we highlighted before, that immediate deportation process bypass any type of mediation, any type of seeing a judge. Okay, but I'm going to shut up. Let's go. This is important. We're going to dig in just a little bit. Hit the like button. Please, we're working on getting ourselves in the algorithm. It's a struggle, but we're going to do it, okay? So, gentleman requires the authorities to allow the detainees to call a lawyer at no cost. Again, the judge has called alleged conditions unnecessarily cruel. Like, these facilities are new, and that's why mayors and stuff wanted to go down there and see these facilities. I.E., the mayor of Newark, what's his name, Ross Barack wanted to go in, and they basically detained him. And it was a reason, because the facility in Newark that I told you about that ICE detained was basically condemned at one point. The walls were falling in, eating up. They were pushing drugs through walls. It was terrible. And the city condemned that place. Okay? So, and then they did no inspections, and they just opened it under federal guidelines. That's dangerous. So, like I said, it's unnecessary and uncalled for, and the judges is looking into this type of stuff. Again, let's get to the next article, because they're calling for some changes to go on. This is Rutgers. And this is about the ICE Chicago ICE crackdown, first casualty. Now, this was the father. This is the clarification that we're going to go back into, so you guys can know that someone actually got shot, because he did. They did. Either way, if it was ICE or Border Patrol, or it was just the police, we should be outraged. Point blank, period. For the people who correct me, it was not ICE. It was the Border Patrol. Well, that just told me the Border Patrol was in Chicago in October, and we did not know. And y'all say that this news is up to date, when they're just talking about ICE trying to, Trump trying to switch over the leaders into the Border Patrol and mutate the agencies, or feng shui them. This happened a month ago. Okay, Chicago ICE crackdown, first casualty. So let's just go into this article so y'all can know who this gentleman is. Shout out to Mr. Gonzalez family. God rest his soul. Period. He's a human being. So, DHS called him a criminal alien with a history of reckless driving. They didn't say he was a drug lord. They didn't say he was ex-trafficking. They would have pulled whatever they could to disintegrate this man's character. That's all they could do. Reckless driving. Family and friends says that he was the devoted father of 2 who stopped drinking over a year ago. Okay. To my Trump lovers. Now, y'all already know. Y'all had no problem drinking. And I should put the Young Turk episode up of them catching the ICE agent being arrested for drunk driving with his 2 sons in the car. We should play that, okay? Today is going to be a highlight, the amazing ICE. Let's just give them all the good credit because this is what they're doing. So when Mr. Gonzalez was 12 minutes late for his shift at Tom and Jerry Gyro, a diner in Chicago Northwest Side, his manager knew something was wrong. The short order cook always let someone know if he was running late, even 5 minutes late. Earlier that morning, Gonzalez, 38, had been fatally unalived by the U.S. Immigration and Custom Enforcement agent. That's why we thought it was ICE, and it is ICE for this one. So I just want to clarify, make sure that we're saying the right one. So he had been unalived by ICE agents shortly after dropping his child off at school and daycare in the suburbs of Franklin Park. The agent was attempting to arrest him as part of a mass immigration sweep launched by the United States President Trump, not because he was a criminal warlord, drug lord, but because of a massive sweep. The Department of Homeland Security said in a statement after September 12th incident, it says that Gonzalez was a criminal illegal alien with a history of reckless driving who steered his car at the agent, causing one to fear for his life and fired his weapon, killing Mr. Gonzalez. Now, we know that is a little bit more because they actually had him pulled over, and I think Mr. Gonzalez was the one that tried to pull off. DHS told Rutgers on Friday that they could conduct their own investigation into the incident after the first agency they responded had finished its review. Both Franklin Police and the FBI responded to the shooter incident, but it wasn't clear which agency was investigating. The FBI declined to comment, citing a lack of staff to respond to the media inquiries due to the government shutdown. Look, right. Franklin Police, Park Police did not respond to Rutgers' request for a comment. So let's get into it just a little bit. I think we're going to get a little bit more into what happened so we could clarify. He was the gentleman who fled from the police. Okay, and I dare somebody like, so he was fleeing and he should be shot. It's one, to flee is against the law, but that doesn't equate death and that people life in danger. Secondly, there is direct policies. I know in the police policy in Illinois and Chicago, Illinois and Dalton, that I have done extensive, and what I just read to you, they can't shoot at a car that is fleeing. They can't shoot at someone who's fleeing. So they had to make these circumstances up, I believe, for Mr. Gonzalez and put his alleged history of reckless driving in some type of equation to make their lie the truth. Body cam video shows ICE agent initial reaction to the fatal Chicago shooting, and this is where we showed you, where this officer said that he was dragged by Gonzalez. Okay, and this is going to be the officer. Is this the video? I hope it's here. I hope it's on this one because we do have the video and we showed you. I hope they let me see the YouTube. I'll link the YouTube video of the original content creator so you can watch the full 15 minutes of this. But let's just read this real quick, okay? The fatal shooting of the Mexican immigrant by the immigration custom enforcer have left communities shaken in the need for transparency. Governor J.B. Pritzker said on Monday, after police body cam video of the incident emerged 2 weeks ago, a man was shot and unalived by ICE in Franklin Park, Illinois, shortly after the ICE issued a statement justifying the unaliving And said that the ICE agent suffered serious injury, Fisher said, referring to a statement from the Department of Homeland Security. Body cam by Franklin police officers showed the hurt ICE agent describing his own injuries as nothing major. He had nothing wrong with him. They asked him, he had scrapes on his hands, and he was like, "Did you wanted to get some help?" He's like, "No, I'm fine." Fitzel on Monday focused on that comment, says the video has brought to light that the injuries were in the agent's own words, nothing major. A man is unalive. The community is shaken up, and we are yet again left with more questions than answers. So this has happened on December 12th to Mr. Gonzalez, 38, at the center of a growing tension over President Trump's weekend immigration crackdown. This is crazy. This is part of the month called Operation Midway Blitz. The administration said that said the efforts is necessary due to the city's sanctuary policies. So any place that has sanctuary cities, Democrats, brown people, crime, allegedly, Trump is making his way downtown. So I'm gonna let you guys look at this video on your own. I will put the link at the bottom. I'm not going to hold up our broadcast with showing repeat content. But yes, this guy who was unalive was by an ICE agent. Man fatally shot after allegedly dragging ICE officer. So this is why you don't just listen to one broadcast. Please hit the like button. We have 13 people here. Hit the like button. It's simple. It's free. Don't cost you anything. It'll help get me back into the algorithm after being gang stalked. I'm here to just bring the truth and facts. Man fatally shot after allegedly dragging ICE officers with car in Franklin Park. Now, this is what I'm saying. This is why you have to look at more than one article, and don't always think that these articles in real time are correct. Because again, point taken, we did not know the Border Patrol was in Chicago. Did you know that? I didn't know that. So here, right here, this is when questions start to, narrative starts to change, because they're saying that this man dragged the officer. And I think in this particular video, this is where you're going to see the incident. We could do a little replay for this one, y'all. Let's watch this.
Dozens of immigrant advocates create a defiant stance.
Well, Mark, why is it no? Hold on, let me read all your comments, because remember, I told you guys, if y'all leave a comment, please put a whole sentence, because I don't understand who you're talking about when you say no truth, no facts. Trump is the greatest president. Okay, now I see what you're saying. So everybody's lying. The person who's dead is lying too, Mark. He's dead and he's lying. We're lying. I just want to know what we're lying about. Truth and facts. Please, state your claim here. This is great. I love it. But maybe you won't have to state your claim to me, but you will have to justify your behavior and actions to our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. A lot of you are fake Christians. And I am going to touch your heart, because a lot of Trump supporters are disgusting. Or they're bots. I'm going to just give it, because y'all can't be that disgusting. You can't be this humane. I believe y'all, it got to be bots. There's no way. Let's go.
Northwest suburban Franklin Park, where an immigration and customs enforcement operation turned deadly. This after the Department of Homeland Security confirms an ICE agent shot and killed Silverio Villegas Gonzalez, a man who the agency says was an undocumented immigrant with a criminal history of reckless driving.
Only.
I will miss him, and I hope he's resting well.
To his girlfriend and stepdaughter, who asked us not to show their faces, he was a working 38-year-old father of 3 from Mexico, who's lived in the United States for more than 20 years. His girlfriend's daughter, translating her heart-wrenching words.
He was a calm guy, he respected people, and he doesn't get into problems with anyone.
Cell video obtained by ABC7 shows the moment when ICE officers removed the man from his crashed car near Grand and Elder Lane. We've frozen the video as it's too graphic to show.
He got hole on his head and bleeding. So the both men, they tried to help and cover with a band-aid his neck.
According to ICE, this happened while its agents were trying to stop the man's car before he resisted arrest and allegedly hit one of their officers while trying to drive away. That officer, the agency says, then fired shots, striking Villegas Gonzalez, who later died at the hospital. DHS saying in a statement in part, quote, "We are praying for the speedy recovery of our law enforcement officer."
Okay, let's play this. I want to say I'm done. I'm disgusted. They're praying for the speedy recovery of a man that said that he was not injured. This is of the devil.
He followed his training, used appropriate force, and properly enforced the law to protect the public and law enforcement.
Look, without a doubt, there's massive racial, ethnic profiling that's taking place, and it's shameful.
Congressman Chuy Garcia of Illinois' 4th District speaking at the scene with other politicians shortly after flying from the nation's capital.
It should not be a deadly consequence to have a traffic violation.
Thank you.
Governor J.B. Pritzker calling the deadly encounter, quote, troubling, saying that the people of Illinois deserve to know what happened. As for the ICE agent who shot and killed the man, authorities say that officer sustained multiple injuries.
Lies, lies, and more lies. Thank you, Mr. Mark. How could, okay, this is what the devil do. They misconstrue what's good for bad and bad for good. So Mark believed that what the officer did is okay. Mark believed that officers should have the right to shoot and unalive people. Mark believed that I'm of the devil because I'm highlighting that this is wrong. Do you see what times we're in? That's why Mark has to be a bot. There's no way he's a human being with family, with kids. This man was a recovered drunken driver, like a lot of Trump lovers. Yeah, I'm gonna fucking say it. Drinking on the booze. But guess what? This was why they were pulling him over. Was he drunk? No. Was he reckless driving? No. They never said he was actively reckless driving. Anything. They lied and said he just out of the blue just tried to ram the police car. Okay? All right? That's just so weird to me. But I'll be of the devil for today. I'll rebuke you in the name of Jesus Christ, Mark. Because I can't understand the mindset. All right, so let's get to this because we're going to finish off talking about Mr. Gonzalez and we're going to get into Miss Martinez, the young lady who was actually shot by the Border Patrol. Okay, hold up. This is a Southern Carolina man charged with fatal shooting fatal agent. This is supposed to be at the end of the broadcast because we're going to look at this because it's getting live. That is not what we're supposed to look at. I had that lined up because there are people that's rebelling on these agents. And this is what we don't want. So that's something that I'm going to be showing you guys later. Please hit the like button if you like the fact that I'm bringing y'all truth and facts. And we get to talk about this. I mean, tell me what you think. Instead of just a lie. When you say, if it's a lie, tell us how it's a lie. Tell us how it's a lie this morning, what I'm bringing to you or what these news articles are saying. Because I try to cross-reference. I don't try to just, let me put my beautiful lip gloss on. I don't try to just use my article and run with it or stay with one broadcast because I like them, because I'm Democrat, I'm Republican. Half of the people I show y'all, I don't even know what political side they on. I don't care. I compare and contrast the story, and I see the story mutate all the time. That's how it is. That's why I don't be quick to just say anything. I kind of give it a few days to bake and marinate because they're going to always lie. So this is the highlight that me, you, and me did not know that the Border Patrol was out in Chicago in October. They're making it seem like some transition is going on now, and it's not. It's been going on, and this is the proof. Federal agent who shoots woman in Chicago neighborhood. I'm trying to switch my words a little bit, but we just going to talk about it. In Chicago neighborhood after allegedly being rammed, boxed in by car, DHS say. She just rammed them, boxed them in. Like, these people are literally suffering from MK Ultra. They're not giving you no logic behind what happened prior. These people literally just, all right, boom. Now, mind you, they're running into these vehicles who are not identified as ICE agents. They're just doing it. People just doing it. It just makes so much sense. I'm just confused here, but we're gonna see what happened. Federal agents shot a woman in Brighton Park. Now, shout out to Chicago, the South Side. You guys are feeling it heavy. Families are lost people behind this. Death. We have people not starving yet. We have people who are hungry, who need to go shopping, don't have SNAP benefits. On top of dealing with all of this crazy controversy. That's why I make the lives that I make, because we have to talk about it. And we have to do it in a manner that, one, we're not going to eternalize this so we could go crazy, because that's what they want us to do, so they can call martial law. That's not happening. We're going to talk about this, get the truth out, and then try to combat it with our elected officials. That's what we should be doing. Not commending them for this. Them, me today, you tomorrow. I'm going to say that because it happens. Federal agents shot a woman in Brighton Park nearby on Chicago's southwest side Saturday morning after they became boxed in by the vehicle. How? One vehicle just boxed them in, according to the U.S. Department of Homeland Security. The woman, as well as a man who authorities says was involved in the chaos, are facing charges Sunday morning. So they tried to charge these people. She survived. DHS originally said the shooting happened while agents were patrolling in Broadview, where the Department of U.S. Immigration and Custom Enforcement facility that has been the site of ongoing protests. So they try to connect her to that. And clashes between the agents and demonstrators. But officials later confirmed that incident happened near 40th Street. Oh my God. In, Kitez Avenue in Chicago. So they first lied and said, oh, they were by the ICE facility and they were about to come up with a whole lie. But, I don't like those cameras, them CSI cameras, whatever they call them, but sometimes they come in handy. So they end up catching the lie again. But these are the people that were supported. These are the behaviors that were supported. I will not let you. The patrolling agents were rammed by the vehicle and boxed in by 10 cars. Where's the other cars? Where's the other cars? CSI, these cameras, and I'm not saying it right. The cameras can zoom in on the plates and stuff like that. You know that? Why didn't they get plates in of these other 10 cars, according to the statement from Department of Homeland Security? This is what I'm saying. They need to be sued for so much stuff. False statements, false allegations, all types of stuff. This is gross. We're calling out the lies right here. DHS said that the agents were unable to move their vehicle and got out the car. According to the DHS officials, one of the drivers of a car boxing them in had a gun, which agents said was a semi-automatic weapon. DHS said the agents opened fire, striking the driver, who they said was a woman. In this article, you're going to see, in no article following, they're never going to talk about this gun again. They lie so much. They lie. But I'm the devil? All right, let's go. According to the federal charging complaint, because they're charging these people, the Custom and Border Patrol agent who opened fire stepped out of the vehicle and shot 5 times at the woman after she rammed her car into the federal law enforcement vehicle. Prosecutors said she drove off, but paramedics found her in a car at a repair shop about a mile away, at which point she was taken to the hospital. The spokesperson of the Tennessee hospital system, if I'm saying that correctly, correct me y'all, said the woman was later released from the hospital. The woman was in FBI custody on Saturday night, DHS said. So the U.S. Attorney Office of the North District of Illinois and the FBI announced Sunday that the woman, Ms. Martinez, 40 years old of Chicago, was charged with forcible assault, impeding, and interfering with a federal law enforcement. Okay, where's the gun charge? This is how we debunk the lie. Just read, because the guy was like, go read, go research. Oh yeah, I know, because I talked about this before. But at this point, they wasn't saying that this was Border Patrol. They just said Department of Homeland Security. Later, the statement said ICE agent. Let's look at this. They went from DHS, and they said later stated ICE agents were responding. See, I don't lie. I'm reading it. That's why I wait to hear what they're saying, because they always mutate into something different. It always mutate into something that is close to the truth but not the truth, because people start really investigating. So here it says it was an ICE agent. The ICE agents were responding to the shooting, someone following them and ramming a car just out of the blue. MK Ultra. It got to be. What is the excuse? She just crazy. Everybody got psychosis now. I'm just trying to figure this out. This person was arrested and was in custody of the U.S. Homeland Security last Saturday. So Miss Ramirez, the 12th, Julia Ramirez, 12, said that she saw the man taken by the federal agents at the gas station. Since then, there was one car that was at the gas station with a person, a U.S. citizen, that has now been detained. That is her, Martinez. So she was a U.S. citizen being charged with everything but having that semi-automatic weapon that they saw. I told you it was going to disappear. I told you. Chicago faces the same charges as Martinez. So this is Ruth, Santano Ruth, the 21-year-old, someone that's with them, faced the same charges as Martinez. Prosecutors allege he drove away after the collision with federal agents. So that's fleeing, allegedly. But where's the gun? Vehicle in Brighton Park, but was found by the law enforcement with his car at the gas station about a half a block away. So he must have dropped her off and left. I don't know what's going on here, but I know they scared as all hell. DHS added that ICE vehicle popped a tire and was mobbed, and law enforcement had to abandon the vehicle for their own safety. DHS said the vehicle was significantly damaged. Now I don't know if it was a protest going on. We're going to do some more deep diving into this. It says this. DHS. Let's read this whole thing. DHS says several U.S. Custom Border Patrol, Border Protection law enforcement officers were sent to the hospital with various injuries, allegedly. U.S. U.S. Homeland Security Christy Nome has deployed special operation term to restore law and order. Protests erupt at the scene of the shooting, and we caught that. All morning and in the afternoon Saturday, there were tense moments between the agents and protests, with yelling, object throwing, and officers spraying pepper balls. Groups of federal agents kept arriving on the scene. 4 to 5 undercover federal agent SUVs made their way through the crowd. They drove through the crowd, which is unlawful and illegal, and gone underneath tape. Okay, I guess they had some border. Each time they came through, protests fought back. So they basically crossed the borders, that line that they have for protests, because protests is illegal, right? Unless they're impeding traffic or breaking some type of law, protest is legal. And sometimes in certain areas, even in that area, they be having to sign up for a protest. One place that I was following for a while, they tried to put an ordinance in to have people want to protest put in an application. That's how crazy it is out there. So sometimes they're very, very planned, and they get to the court off a street or whatever. So we don't know the circumstances of this, but I just want to give y'all an idea that this was an American citizen. Allegedly, she just rammed the police. Now, I don't know if she was part of the protest, but again, they're not giving us all the information. All right. So, a group of federal agents kept arriving on the scene. 4 to 5 undercover federal agent SUV made their way through the crowd, again unlawful. If they are zooming through the crowd of protesters and they are doing it every 5 minutes to continue to irritate or initiate on people, it's almost like they want people to be provoked. Exactly. That's what I just said. Like, yo, there's certain places for the First Amendment is still alive, even though people want it dead. Even though our Trump supporters don't care about the Constitution or the First Amendment, just theirs. At one point, a military vehicle pulled up near the protesters, and an agent drew his gun from the roof, pointed at the protesters. No, where's the gun? Where is her gun? Now they got SWAT trucks here, like we're like we are like the military now. This is like war zone. Gabrielle said this was what it was looking like, and they protest after this. Now I believe this protest was happening after this happened with the lady. This wasn't before. Okay? No way, no how do we have the pre-synopsis of what was going on before they just ran the police again. You know what I'm saying? The police was like, the broad daylight, reckless, a lot of people around. It's okay. It's okay. But I'm of the devil. You see how good is bad is good? I'm just saying. Sweet. So I'm going to sound like my grandma. This ain't right. Now, let's get to the update because I read all that article. All you kept saying ICE agent, DHS, ICE agent, DHS. Now, something is a little different. That's why I don't run with just one article. And I don't think all of these news broadcasts who are the mainstream are correct. I go through it so we could talk about it and depict the truth. Border Patrol agents brags about shooting woman in Brighton Park. Defense attorneys say, now we know it's a Border Patrol agent, not ICE. So maybe, do you think the news was hiding that from us? Do you think the news didn't want us to know that the Border Patrol was already there? Illegally? I'm just saying. Let's just put this together. This is a part 2. And this is for the correction of what I have put out there. And remember that real that I have out there, I haven't stated it on this particular live, but we're doing predictive program just like Trump. Trump want to predict him shitting on citizens' head while he's flying in a plane, disrespecting us. I'm going to put predictive program of ICE agents being arrested. Yeah, let's go. Testimony from the agents who shot a woman multiple times in the immigration enforcement action reveal how he taunts his marksmanship in leaving several wounds despite firing 5 bullets. He later texts a fellow agents, put that in your book, boys. Yeah, these motherfuckers taking tabs. This is a game. And this is how those drug and task force units used to move. That's what I said. Done to us today, done to y'all tomorrow. This is what we used to see with the jump out boys, with the people were coming out, because they had drug and task force units in Newark and in the hood, and they were reckless. They would just run. I got ran down on by the drug and task force units. They're so reckless. Okay, just 2 incidents so we could tell you how reckless this is, and I'm going to tell you us yesterday and you tomorrow. This is how God is recompense. It's not a joke. So the jump out boys are basically people who go after drugs, stolen cars, gangs in Newark. They dismantled that group. They used to steal drugs from the drug dealers, take gang members from one side of the gang where they be at and take them to another hood and try to get them killed. Just a whole bunch of stuff. I could go on for hours. But this is what I experienced. So when I moved back to Newark, mind you, I never was a gangbang. I'm a whole nurse. I'm this there chilling. I went to go visit my family, and I had tinted windows. It's illegal in Newark to have tinted windows, but I have Georgia plates. So I'm driving, and I get to Sanford and 18th Avenue. Mind you, I got 3 kids in the back. I just dropped off all the girls at a sleepover, and I had all the boys coming with me. Little babies, kids, 7, 8 years old, 9 years old. As I got to the light, I'm sitting there. Boom, car, box me in. I already know what this is because I'm from the hood. That wood. I ain't never scared. So I stopped, and they like, get out. What did they say? Get out the car, get out the car. They got their guns drawn. And I politely rolled down all my windows so they can see me and kids in the car. Where you going? Where you going? I said, first and foremost, this is not how you accost people. That's first and foremost. I can go where I want to. Why did you pull me over? Oh, ma'am, you got tinted windows. Okay, that's for a regular officer to pull me over. But you see, I have Georgia plates. So what's the problem? Where you going? Where you come from? Mind your business. Because I didn't do anything. And first and foremost, I can go where I want to. Secondly, you see, I have a car full of kids. You're literally still talking reckless to me and hostile and still have your guns drawn right now while you see 3 kids under the age of 11 in this car. Man, yeah, what's next? What y'all about to do? The light's green and literally I live around the corner. You want to follow me there? You know what the fuck they did? Packed their ass up and pulled off. We know this. This ain't new. But this is on level 10. This is on level 10 and unacceptable. And it's the good thing is that with me being a brown melanated person and many brown melanated people going through that, we still don't wish that on our worst enemy. We still don't wish that on our worst enemy. And the reason why I slow down with reading, because I read fast. I go through things fast and I don't want to, go through the article fast. Okay? New. You can come up here and you read the article. I'm very fluent. But what that goes to say, I hope New was listening to what I was saying and how bad this is. Because it's terrible. You see how people deflect? But as I say, as brown melanated people that went through this, me, I would never want this for you. I would never want this for you. Okay. Why wasn't I following the rules of the road, Mark? What rules wasn't I following? I'm from Georgia. If I come into Jersey with my Georgia car and plates, I don't have to take my tents off. I don't think you're smart for saying that. What rules was I breaking? Please tell me, sir. Since you're so intelligent, I like talking to you, Mark, because you're going to continue to be a fool in the audience. And I would love to just show people how foolish they can be. And inhumane. Okay? Tell me how I was unlawful. Was I not supposed to drive my car from Georgia into another state just because they have laws there and I don't have, you know what I'm saying? How does that work? Yeah. Anyway, so we won't be distracted. Let's continue to see how they lie and mutate, because maybe the mainstream news did not want us to know that Border Patrol was already in Chicago and they were shooting people. They had Black Hawks, ICE, Border Patrol, and the National Guard. Wow. They're suffering from martial law and we didn't even know it. After the Border Patrol agent shot the woman multiple times following a car crash last month in Brighton Park, he allegedly bragged in a text to other agents about how he takes pride in my shooting skills. And the defense attorney revealed in court Wednesday while the agent testified. Why are you in court? Oh, because did they falsely charge her? Yeah, I want to see how this works. Oh, I could pull up her name. We're going to look up this case. We're going to see, can we find it in Pacer and see what's going on. Maybe we can get some names. The testimony before the U.S. District Court, Georgia, Alexis, came on a defense motion regarding Supervisor Border Patrol Agent Charles Excombe. Oh, we got a name. Handle of his Chevrolet Tahoe after it was involved in October 4th crash with 2 people who allegedly followed the agents through the southwest side. So now these people were following them. They followed them. You see how the story escalated? So she's saying the woman and man was following them and then rammed their car. Yeah, I love it. Okay, so they were making testimony here, lying. Escombe's Tahoe sustained some scratches and the black scuff mark on the driver's door. She rammed the car. A dent above the gas cap with a black scuff mark. Above the gas cap. Can we think here? Can we think here where the gas cap is at? And it was above the gas cap. You know what? I had Enterprise do that to me one time. I returned the car. I had my boyfriend return the car. He wasn't supposed to be the driver. Do you know, a day later they said they found a dent above right above the gas cap. And it looked like an indenting from a helmet. I said, the hell? How did that happen? It's not even cars that high. But I'm going to shut up. Oh, yeah, I had that happen to me before. So this was the damage on the car who was rammed by her. He said his car was swiped on both sides or hit and not rammed. Now it changed. It's not rammed. It was swiped on both sides. So where's the other cars involved here? These are questions that I asked that people don't want me to ask. That's why people was mad at me on the South Side, because I was asking these questions like, what the hell? That doesn't even make sense. As an initial Department of Homeland Security statement about the incidents indicated. So he said that it was hit, not rammed, like as the initial statement indicated. Excellent defense, his use of force in the incident, saying he acted in self-defense against Ms. Martinez, 30 years old, and Anthony, 21, who were charged with assault for allegedly telling Excom car and boxing it in before the crash led to the shooting. So do we have cameras in the car? And don't police vehicles usually have front and back cameras? All that money that he's spending, they don't got front and back cameras. So we should be able to see this person following the officers for a while, right? And then speeding around them and swiping both sides of the car, you know, because we don't know where the rest of the 9 vehicles is at that was involved in this. But, you know, her and him did that. They was just swipe, swipe. But first it was ram. I'm confused. I'm a little confused here. Maybe Mark can help us. Okay? Maybe Mark can help us. Okay? I'm just trying to figure it out. Mark knows best right now. So let's keep it moving. What you need to know. The conditions at ICE Broadway facility we talked about the excessive force and the Brighton shooting again. So the Brighton Park shooting took place in the person who was responsible for that was Border Patrol, not ICE. So they've been in Chicago. The FBI seized Excom car after the crash to take photos of the process and process it for evidence. Here we go. Can we show the proof here? I'm glad nobody likes me, because God, they ain't like Jesus Christ either, because he told the truth. I'm part of his camp, so I could care less. So here we go. Look, this is them ramming into the car. Here go the evidence. We lying, we flying. Excom drove his Tahoe more than 100 miles between October 8th and 10th back to the Border Patrol station in Maine, where he parked it inside the garage and left it there, he said. About a week later, he got a call from the FBI agents asking if any work had been done on the car, and he said no. But Excom later checked on the car and noticed it had been moved to another part of the garage and that the black scuff marks were buffed out. He added, Excom then mailed the Border Patrol agents at his main office and their mechanics information, informing them not to move the car. He also noted that the FBI questioned why the scuff marks were removed. This is what we're trying to figure out, because those scuff marks, it don't sound like the original ramming. But we're just showing the truth here. You know how it is. Okay, so Excom boss deputy patrol agent Kevin told Excom in another email and told FBI agent in an interview last week that it was his idea to have the scuff marks buffed out, according to the defense attorney. Cover up. How can we say messing with evidence, destroying evidence? Lock their ass up. They doing everything that's unlawful. If they needed it as evidence, I did not think they would have released it from the investigation. Have you drove 3 days all the way back to Maine, possibly destroying some further evidence along the way? This is what the email reads. But they were apparently contradicted in Excom interview when the FBI agent about the shooting, in which he said he had obtained approval from his executive management in Maine to get the vehicle repaired. So Excom then said that he got the vehicle repaired instead of the supervisor. It's the lies for me. And regardless, they do have some pictures. Is this a ramming? Maybe this is why some officers going to be charged. Again, Excom called Wednesday. He had nothing to do with the car being repaired, he said, and testified that the FBI agent made a mistake by noting Excom had gotten approval for repairs. So the FBI and now DHS and now the Border Patrol are having issues with each other because people lying. And it looks like someone in this FBI agent is possibly doing a real investigation and asking questions that they should not. So this is the Border Patrol statement. I take pride in my shooting skills. Meanwhile, the texts are revealing the message that Escom sent in the group chat with other federal agents that include a link to the news article about the shooting. Read it. 5 shots, 7 holes. Escom text message reads, referring to the 5 gunshots he fired and the 7 wounds suffered by Martinez. This what we like? This is what we like, y'all? We're just discovering the truth here. We're just discovering the truth. I want to say thank you for being with us this morning as we debunk what's actually going on. So we have the evidence that the Border Patrol was involved in the shooting in the border in Chicago. Ooh, didn't want to answer that phone call. In Chicago. And we have evidence that the Border Patrol has been in Chicago from possibly day one. Chicago is suffering. They have the Border Patrol, they have ICE, and now they have DHS, they have FBI agents all over there. And now the agencies are fighting. Watch something comes up from this, because it sounds like we may have one honorable FBI agent asking some questions, and they like, no, don't ask that. They wasn't expecting them. Federal agents accused the shooting woman in Chicago drove work SUV to Maine judge demand his return. So this is what the gentleman was telling me about. Like, yeah, it wasn't ICE and it da-da-da. So here, let's just watch this as we start to come to a close with this broadcast. But we will show you one more shooting that took place outside of Chicago. Because, like, people think Chicago and Illinois, black. Migrant. They're all over. So there was another shooting. American citizen, I believe. What's going on with this video? Let's see, can we watch this? Shout out to Fox 32 News. As you know, guys, I show all types of news here. Please hit the like button. We're working on getting ourselves into the algorithm. Do I have the... Let's see what the video looks like. Keep y'all entertained. Hold on. Let's just read it because it is not pulling up. The Border Patrol agent accused of shooting Miss Martinez with 5 times drove the government-issued SUV involving the incident all the way from Chicago to Maine, raised fresh concerns about potential evidence mishandling and destruction. Going to jail. There's over 1,100 miles crossing multiple jurisdictions after the shooting. He must have left right after that, after the crashing, and after body-worn camera footage was recorded. The government acknowledged that the agent assigned to the Chicago had ended. So they say his assignment had ended. That's why they don't care, too. They send people from outside states, and they think that that's make them have less care. Like, but they do. They're not acting like they're human. And the vehicle was driven back to his home base in Maine. But the vehicle remains key to the investigation. According to the courtroom statement, Martinez legal teams want access to inspect the SUV, but is now hundreds of miles away. Meanwhile, their vehicle are still being held as evidence. So his vehicle is being held as evidence, but they couldn't examine or the lawyers can't get any information about their vehicle and the actual damage. But obviously, we showed you the pictures. Scrapes. Miss Martinez went from ramming to now sideswiping both sides. Like, she's literally like, what we used to call him? Sonic the Hedgehog. You know, when he go around things real fast, that's who she was. I'm just saying. So according to the court statement, Martinez's legal team wants access to the inspected SUV. The judge overseeing the case responds sharply, directing her comments to the government attorney. She ordered, I am directing you to tell the agent to be... I'm directing you to tell the agent to be brought back to Chicago as soon as possible. She didn't even say the car. She want the agent back here, too. Miss Georgia Alexis says, and a judge on the U.S. State District Court of the North District of Illinois. Oh, good. We're going to look up this case, y'all. The judge also noted that she worked in a professional manner with some of the attorneys in the case, but that wouldn't stop her ability to be impartial. She said, I don't give a damn if I work with y'all. We're not about to play with you. And again, now it's being brought up to our attention. New footage contradicts federal narratives. We went into this. Martinez's attorney reveals in court that the body camera video shows federal agents ramming into Martinez. Because we don't get to see this stuff. Not the other way around. This directly contradicts the federal agents' claim that Martinez was a threat who rammed them. So it went from ram to scrape. The footage also reports show one Border Patrol agent moments before opening fire, aiming a assault rifle and shooting. Do something, bitch. This was his statement. Do something, bitch. Yeah, but I'm the devil. We just gonna talk about it. I just want to spread the facts here, so maybe we could change some hearts. Maybe they could stop this shit. Maybe these bots will stop coming under the videos, and maybe these people will stop making videos like they really support Trump. Let's just look at this. Trump administration accused of propaganda for shifting stories and shooting aiming ICE protests. You know he's walking around with his cameraman, his own cameraman, catching beautiful footage of the Hawk plane coming down on Chicago. Just beautiful footage. Yeah, we already know this. This is pretty typical. The Department of Homeland Security is facing questions from lawmakers over the shooting of the U.S. citizen by Border Patrol agents in Chicago after a criminal complaint was filed against the victim, deferred from the agency initial description of the event. So they filed things against it that didn't even seem to line up with their original statements. This is why they must think people can't read. You talking about I can't read? They thought other people can't read, baby. Because, baby, I could read. We broke this down. This shit ain't right. Okay? U.S. Senator Chris Murphy, a Democrat representative in Connecticut, has written to DHS Secretary Naomi asking for her to correct the public record and release all body cam footage of the incident, claiming that the evidence appears to contradict the officer's statement. When was this? Let's look at this, because this was October 18th. We're still waiting. We're still waiting. Okay? So this is the conflicts we already talked about. I'm going to leave those articles for you guys so y'all can read it yourself. This is the conflicts we talked about two individuals, Mr. Gonzalez, who is not alive, who was unalived by ICE agents. And now we're talking about Miss Martinez, 40 years old, shot 5 times. The one that got a little allegedly away and went to a mechanic shop to get help. And now it went from ramming to scraping to, all types of crazy stuff. This is ridiculous. All right, so the last thing I want to get to, I don't know why my screen went blank, is a new shooting. We're going to get to the new shooting, and we're going to be done. I want to say thank you for being here with Miss Grace. We're working to get ourselves in the algorithm. I would appreciate if you hit the like button. That'll tell YouTube that you like the factual information that I share here. I wonder why everything went blank. They like, you ain't about to finish this. There's one more article that I want to share with you guys, because there is another shooting that took place. And I think it's in North Carolina. Let's go. I ain't about to wait for that screen. It all went blank on me. Give me 1 second. I'm about to switch it over and pull up the article and get it to y'all. U.S. citizen. California man. Shout out to, this is what's going on. All right. Shout out to you, Reedness, for being very mature. I appreciate you for being here. I do hope that you're over 21. All right, so let's get to it. Man shot by ICE was not trying to run over agent. Lawyer says South California. Man charged with assault of a federal officer was asking agents to leave the area where school students were waiting for bus, according to the lawyer. So basically, he was like, yo, y'all just go. Like, y'all basically possibly intimidating the kids and, You know, if y'all start shooting reckless and anything happens, you know, you don't need to be here. It ain't no immigrants here. What the hell you doing here? And it must have escalated. So, lawyer for the man shot last week by the immigration agent in Southern California are disputing the accounts given by the federal officers who charged him with assault. Again, everybody's questioning what they're doing, but they're so amazing. The lawyer for Carlos, 25 years old, his name is Jimenez, said on Monday that he was a bystander asking federal agents to move away from the bus stop where school children were soon to be gathering. At the time, the immigration officer had stopped a vehicle near the bus stop in this area about 40 miles east of downtown Los Angeles. Lawyers of Mr. Jimenez, a U.S. citizen, said that he was later shot in the shoulder as he drove away from the federal agents. This dude sound familiar? And one was all three of the people that we're talking about is U.S. citizens. Because just because my Anglo-Saxon Caucasian people think only pale-skinned, light-skinned people should be U.S. citizens, that's not the way it works. Because y'all needed the economy to grow, and this is the land of immigration. You know how Columbus immigrated his ass over here and stole the land from the Native Americans. You know how that go from the brown indigenous people. But this your land. Y'all think that y'all the only one here. They're running. These are American citizens. I don't give a damn if they Martinez, Gonzalez, Perez, all types of shit. If they got their papers, they got their papers. Because somewhere in your bloodline, your people got their papers. You just don't know about it because you don't know history. You don't give a damn. All you like is chaos. This got to stop. The storyline sounds so familiar. I keep saying this. It's over and over and over. Or it's just us all MK Ultra, just like crazy people just running into unidentified cars that we don't know is ICE or Border Control, just wilding out. It's us. If you just listen to ICE agent, they wouldn't shoot you. They wouldn't restrain you. If you just listen, that's what y'all say. But I'm the evil one. So this happened close to Los Angeles. Lawyers from Jimenez and this U.S. citizen said that he was later shot in the shoulder as he drove away from the federal agents, but said that he did not try to use his vehicle to harm anyone. Federal prosecutors, however, said last week in a criminal complaint that the immigration custom officer shot Mr. Jimenez because he pulled forward, turning his vehicle and rapidly accelerating towards the officer during the vehicle stop. Yeah, we all lost our damn minds. It's just us. It's just us. It's not the Border Patrol. It's not ICE. It's not Trump. It's just all us U.S. citizens. We're messed up in the head. We're criminals. We're hateful. We're of the devil. It's just us. It can't be them. I'm just saying. Hey, it is what it is. So with that goes to say, I want to say thank you for being here. If we had more intellectual people in the audience, I would take my time to read some of the comments. Shout out to the people who are intellectual, but I'm seeing some real ignorant people that don't matter what you say, what proof you bring to them, that they're going to be of the devil. They're of their father. So they will always misconstrue truth to be a lie. They will always misconstrue good to be evil. And we're in rare times. Trump and his regime is so disgusting and horrendous and diabolical that one, they literally send emails to grocery stores to tell them, don't assist people who receive SNAP benefits with any discount or we're going to come after you. Don't tell me I'm lying. What the fuck are we dealing with? And I dare someone in the audience say, you're a SNAP benefit recipient. Bitch, no I'm not. My tax has been paying that for years. And I don't need it. But I still believe that this system, the money that I sow in there with my tax dollars, because I have a high pay rate. I pay a lot of motherfucking taxes. it should go to people who need help. It should go to lawful practices. We should be able to govern our money where it needs to go properly and not die with the use of our money, have our money kill us. I'm the evil one. I have another thing to add to this. Oh, the thousand monkey effect, y'all. Okay, if y'all have listened to my lives before, y'all know I had threw this out there. I was like, fuck this. I'm thinking about not filing my taxes or doing my motherfucking taxes. I'm not giving the feds nothing. I'll probably do my state taxes, see what the penalty is, and might not do my fed taxes for as long as Trump is in. Fuck him. And guess who came out and said the same thing? And they try to call her conspiracy theorist. Margie, what's her name? Marjorie, the one who flipped on Trump. She said it, and someone else said it. That they should be, oh yeah, somebody on TikTok was saying it too. I said, ooh, the thousand monkey effect. I prayed. I said, yes, please. Please, 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 please. Let this be picked up and it's picked up. Okay? So if y'all hear people saying that they ain't going to be filing their federal taxes and they're going to take that little penalty, baby, you already know. So with that being said, I'm going to get off of here because I have some legal matters to attend to, people. This is a channel that focuses on legal matters, politics, and much more. I do have a membership page where it's going to be more personal legal matters that I share with you guys and how to represent yourself pro se. I'm not a lawyer, but I love to research, and I'm a legal nursing consultant if y'all don't know. That is a realm into nursing where we focus on quality assurance, documentation, and proving what they did not do correctly by evidence practice. That's why I know what they're not doing correctly here, because it just takes a little bit of reading and knowing how to look up law. So this is what we do, and I'm going to teach you guys how to do that for free. I have a course, tax lien course, where I have a seminar to teach you how to research law, but that's not what I want. I want us to build a family. So in the membership, I am sharing about a particular incident about a car ring that's taking place in Atlanta through Facebook Marketplace, where I was scammed. And we have just filed our papers against the gentleman who scammed us, and we do have a warrant hearing that will be coming up to see can we get this person arrested. Yes. So this is one of our active cases that we're going to be handling. But I also have some things to handle today because we'll be making a post. We go after scammers who scam us. Okay, and there is someone out there who's been a bad guy on the south side and been scamming the black community. So I'm going to be making a post about that. I have a packet about this thick. Do y'all want to see it real quick? You want to see it? It's a packet this thick that I have to send out to all of these agencies about this scammer, about this bad person. So let me just show you my packet, y'all, because I'm not making a video on being a secret squirrel. You know why I'm being a secret squirrel? We're going to close off. Because these people has been gang stalking me and they thought I was going to let them gang stalk me. No. So what we have here, because I got to go to the post office. One, like you said, I don't pay taxes. I'll pay my taxes. I got a whole packet right here for the IRS. Tell these bastards I'm going to beat their butt if they don't get my account correctly because I do pay my taxes. And secondly, let me show you the packet just to my loved ones who know. Don't mess with race. Because I may get quiet, but I'm not going to let y'all gang stalk me, disrespect me, defile my name, and do crazy stuff. So I have some legal matters to handle. But right here, this is a thick packet that I have to the Department of Homeland Security. U.S. Department of Justice, Public Integrity Section, Fraud and General Counsel. We have this where I have a packet of about 15 pages where I'm updating them about a scammer and about his behavior with the proof. One thing I'm going to tell you, I don't play. I'm not about to play. So make sure when y'all come here, come with a little bit of respect. Y'all use the skills that I got because I can help you guys. But one thing I'm going to say, don't stalk me, don't disrespect me, and don't take it too far. Because I will stand up for myself, and I will hit hard. So let me go to the post office so I can send all the certified mails. The people who watch me from my old content, y'all know who the hell I'm talking about. I'll make a post and just tag that person. And then we have another legal matter that we're going to be going after. Possible defamation. With that being said, I love you guys. You have a great day. And I'll see y'all tomorrow morning. We have some more action-packed, informative information for you. Thanks. Thank you. Hey, Nicholas, thank you. I appreciate you. I'm Hebrew. I'm God's daughter. I'm not playing. Thank you. I appreciate you.